beautiful loves, it is Ashley Love here, and I am super excited to welcome you to my channel. Or if you're already subscribed and have watched some of my videos, then welcome back. Super duper excited to have you here. We are on a mission to truly make 2019 the best year ever. And to do that, there's some work that has got to be put in. And so in my previous videos, I've talked about how to get out of your comfort zone and how to grow your confidence. But now we're going to talk about something that can help you get stagnant, can help keep you from being more confident, and that can prevent you truly from making 2019 your best year, because it can keep you from doing the things that you really want or need to be doing. And what is that? That is fear. Fear can keep you stagnant. It can prevent you from going after the things you really want to go after. It can literally paralyze you. And that's how you get in that rut that we talked about before, where you're not sure what to do, so you just don't do anything. Have you ever wanted to do something so bad, but you just had this fear about it that you were like, no, this could happen if I did it? Or what if this happens? Or what if it doesn't go right? Or what if I'm not good enough? And that all leads back to the confidence thing, is that it can prevent you, when you truly fear something, from being able to grow your confidence and to be successful, because it's keeping you from moving anywhere. And so we're going to talk about that. The first thing I want to say is that fear stalls action. It stops you from moving, and it truly can get to the point where it induces fight or flight. If you don't know what fight or flight is, if you have ever been truly scared of something, if somebody scared you and somebody jumped out at you, or you really felt like something was about to happen to you, or you got into a situation that induced fear in you, then what happens is your body responds to that by fight or flight syndrome. Which means your body is either going to fight whatever's going on, and you're going to give it all you got. Like you've seen people in different movies, to where they could literally pick up cars and their adrenaline was racing, and they moved the train off of someone, or pushed a car out of the way, or they did these, insurmountable things that you never thought they could do. That is fight. Flight means you run. You want to get away from the situation. You don't want to be there anymore. You don't even want to be a part of it. You're just out of it. Whether you are checking out mentally and you're flighting mentally, or you're literally flighting and you're getting away from the situation. But whenever you get scared, that is what kicks in. Either you're going to fight whatever it is, or you're going to flight and you're going to completely leave the situation. I know, as somebody that deals with and has dealt with anxiety for years, I know that a lot of times that is how you feel when you get anxiety. When I am in the middle of like a lot of things going on, and maybe I'm stressed out, and I'm constantly thinking about, oh my goodness, how am I going to get out of this, or what do I have to do? I usually don't get anxiety. But it's when my mind literally stops that I start getting fight or flight, and I'm not even in a situation that I should be in fight or flight mode. And so how I've learned to deal with that as well are some of these tips that I'm about to share with you. So not only can you use this as a battle against fear in your life, you can also use this if you've dealt with anxiety, or you're dealing with stress or depression right now. These things can also help you to overcome those things as well. So the first thing I have for you, and y'all, I truly believe in this, and that is visualization. Just as we visualize in our mind negative things happening to us, we also can visualize positive things happening to us, and we can counteract the negative. So I want you to visualize yourself as not afraid. Visualize yourself actually overcoming whatever this is. Don't sit there and literally fill your mind with the negative things that could happen in this situation, or if you make this move, or if this thing that you're really scared of is going to happen. I want you to literally visualize yourself overcoming it. Visualize yourself making it through to the other side. It's almost like a climb up a mountain. Visualize yourself at the top of the mountain. You've made it. You've made it through. You've made it over. You've got this. Because what you're doing then is you're training your subconscious mind to believe that you have this. What you continually feed your subconscious mind is what's going to come back to you. So if you're constantly feeding it negativity and fear, then guess what? It's going to come back to you, and probably at the wrong time. But if you're constantly feeding it positivity and you're telling yourself that you've got this, that you can do this, that you know what? I'm going to make it through no matter what. No hurdle, no obstacle, no irrelevant fear is going to keep me from making it to where I've got to go, or to overcoming this fear that's preventing me from doing the things I want to do in my life. Because you don't want to look back and say in 30 years from now that fear prevented you from doing the things that you really wanted to do over something that probably there's no chance of it even happening. And if there is a chance of it happening, it still probably wouldn't happen. Number 2 is I want you to act as if you aren't afraid. So just as you visualized yourself as not afraid, I want you to act like you're not afraid. I want you to be confident, to smile, to move swiftly, to have some bounce in your step, to hold your head up high. The more that you let fear overcome you instead of you overcoming it, the more you're giving it power in your life. The more you're saying, hey, fear, come on, take me. No, you've got to be the one that stands up and says, you know what? Fear is not going to overcome me. I've got this. And just as they say, fake it until you make it, which to some degree I believe in that, and some I don't. But I want you to act as if you're not afraid. If this wasn't bothering you, then what would you be doing? How would you be acting? Number 3 is I want you to move toward the fear and not away from the fear. See, oftentimes when we're afraid, we want to back off, which then allows our subconscious mind to just freaking put us through the ringer, basically. But when you step up and you look fear in the eye and you say, okay, come on, fear, what you got for me? Because I'm here and I'm going to do this and I'm not afraid. And you literally face fear head on, then the easier it's going to get. That's just like, if you know me or you've watched a lot of my videos, I've talked about this before. I don't like elevators, and I definitely sure don't like planes. And the first time that I ended up getting on a plane, well, really every time that I've gotten on a plane, it has been by myself. And the first time that I got on it, it scared the living crap out of me. I literally had a panic attack. All of these things I'm telling you, I had to do it because I was trying to visualize myself back on the ground. I was trying to figure out what the hell to do. Y'all, I had an iPad. Now, I don't know if y'all fly a lot. that there is apps to where you can actually track planes in the sky of where they're at. I literally would get on my iPad on the plane. I couldn't wait to get past 10,000 feet because I would get on that iPad, get onto that app and put my flight in, and I would have to watch my flight exactly where we were on the map so that I knew how long it was going to take for us to get there so I could get the hell back on the ground. I'm talking no drink, no encouragement, nothing was helping me at that point. But I had to really ground myself, and we're going to talk about that as well. That's the next step. I had to ground myself, and I had to realize that I was in this situation. When you're on a plane, y'all, there ain't no way out. There ain't no, oh, well, fight or flight. I'm going to flight. There isn't. So I had to deal with that fear. And I'm not going to say that, now after I've taken many more flights that I like it any better than I did that first flight, because I don't. But I learned how to deal with it to where I could make it through it without literally going insane. And I could get where I had to go so that I didn't miss out on the things that I wanted to do and missing out on my dreams because I had this fear that was just hanging over me. And so that's what I'm saying to you right now, is move toward the fear, which I did. And I did over and over again as I flew different places. And that helped me to then be able to be a little more comfortable, not in the fear, but being more comfortable in dealing with it. And the more that you move away from the fear, the bigger it's going to get for you and the more it's going to preoccupy you. So when I booked my first flight, I had a couple months in advance that I had before I ended up taking this trip. And during those few months, fear literally was taking over me. I'm like, oh my goodness, I don't know if I even want to go. I don't want to fly. Like, I'm literally watching the news. Like, oh, are planes even safe? I'm asking I'm like, come on. I'm trying to somewhere find a way to get myself psyched up to do this. And instead of it making my fear better, it was actually making it worse because I wasn't confronting that fear, but I was kind of backing away from it as far as like, you know what, maybe, I just don't want to deal with it. But when you jump into it, so when I actually got on that plane, it was scary, but it helped me to be more comfortable in dealing with it, in dealing with that fear. Number 4 is I want you to center yourself. Just like I told you I did on that plane. I had to center myself. Instead of letting my mind go all over the place, which it was, and telling me all kinds of crazy things that could possibly happen. And literally, I was sitting in the emergency exit seat. So, yeah, I have the responsibility of it. If anything happens, I'm supposed to pull this door open and everything else. Believe me, that is not a good place to sit if this is the first time that you're flying and you don't like to fly. Okay? Because then you got to watch the video about it and how you're going to do this and how you're going to save everybody if something happens. And y'all, look. Center yourself where you're at. What do you have to be grateful for at this moment? Not in 5 minutes, not in a minute, not in a second. What do you have to be grateful for at this very moment? That's what you've got to think about. Stop letting your mind wander to what's going to go wrong and start thinking about what's going right now. And that's one of the things when I talked about I ended up getting my iPad out and I was looking at the plane the whole way. That took my focus from, oh my God, I'm in this plane and what if something happens and all this. And it stopped me. And I literally focused on that plane going across that little diagram map until we got to the little, what I call it, the roundabout, where the plane actually makes the turn and starts going downward into their landing. And so I watched it the whole way until I couldn't watch it anymore, and they told us to put up everything. How can you center yourself? If you're facing this fear, you've got to learn to stop. Oftentimes when you fear something, you want to go. But you can't. You have to stop and say, okay, I'm here. This is where I'm at this very moment. This is what's going on around me. And this is what I'm grateful for. And that is something that I really had to learn, and am still learning as far as dealing with anxiety and stress and panic attacks and stuff, which I've dealt with in the past, is you have to stop and get grounded on where you're at and not let your mind go all over the place with you. But just really practice gratitude. You know how I talked about the other day, and if you didn't see the video, I'll link it below. When I talked about getting out of a rut in your life, is to practice gratitude and get a gratitude journal. One of the things you can do to overcome fear is literally get you a journal and start writing the things that you're grateful for at this very moment. Or the things that are going good for you at this very moment. Or you can even, we talked about visualization at the beginning of this video. You can even visualize what it would be like if you actually overcame your fear. Or what are the feelings that you feel when you overcome this? When you face this fear and you've got that amazing job you wanted. When you face this fear and like me, you actually get on the airplane and you go somewhere that you absolutely love. Or when you face this fear and you go back to school after all these years that you've been out. What are those emotions that you're feeling? I want you to visualize those and feel them. Instead of feeling the anxiety and the stress and the fear and the negativity, start feeling the positive emotions that come along with whatever this task is or this leap that has got you kind of clinging to life right now on whether you're going to be able to do it. And the last thing, never deny your fear. The worst thing that you can do, y'all, for real, is to deny your fear. If you deny what you are feeling, it's only going to make it worse. If you, that's just like someone who denies that they have a problem. What does it do? It makes it worse. They don't face the problem. And then they have to face way more consequences than they would have had to had they have faced it ahead of time or before the time that they did. So embrace the fear. Fear is what projects us to make amazing things happen in our life. Fear is what keeps us going. If we didn't have fears and were able to overcome them, then none of us would even be able to succeed at the things we want to. There are literally public speakers that are scared to speak. I've heard so many stories from different people in my circle that ended up starting their speaking career and like almost died before the first time they went out on stage. There's some singers who are still nervous about performing. Fear is what keeps us pushing for more. It keeps us overcoming these challenges in our life. And it makes that success even more amazing. If everything was easy and we didn't have fear, then overcoming it and being successful and reaching the top would be like, okay, whatever. Okay, cool. You wouldn't even really be able to celebrate your accomplishments because what have you really overcome? So I challenge you today. If there's something in your life that you fear right now, I want you to truly go through these steps. And I'm going to recap them so that you can move on to the next level. And I'm not going to say that there's nothing else that you're going to fear in the future. But let's take it one thing at a time. And let's get through it so that we can make 2019 our best year ever. The first one is I want you to visualize yourself not afraid. The second one is I want you to act as if you aren't afraid. Put on that smile, put your head up high, and just get it. Number 3, I want you to move towards the fear and not away from it. Because again, when you back away, it gets bigger and can preoccupy you. Number 4, I don't want you to deny the fear. I want you to truly embrace the fear head on. And number 5, I want you to center yourself in the now. Center yourself where you're at right now and be grateful for what's going right and what you have. I hope these tips have helped you today. I have got some more awesome videos coming your way of different ways that I can help you and we can work together to end up making this an amazing year. If you need any help with anything specifically, please comment it below. Also comment any extra tips that you have or if any of these tips have helped you. Please like the video. Make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell so that you're getting all of the goods. All right, I'll see y'all next time and y'all have a blessed weekend. Bye.